The Whisper of the Nile. Long ago, when the sun burned like molten gold over the sands of Egypt, the kingdom of Queen Cleopatra VII flourished beside the great Nile. The river was the heart of the land. It carried life to every field and story, to every soul. In the grand city of Alexandria, where marble palaces gleamed and the library stood as a temple of wisdom, lived a young scribe named Amun. His fingers were stained with ink, his eyes always searching the horizon for meaning beyond the words he wrote. He served the royal court, recording Cleopatra's decrees and translating scrolls brought from distant lands. But Amun was not content with palace walls. He often wandered through the bustling markets, where merchants sold spices, papyrus, and shimmering glass from the workshops by the sea. One day he journeyed beyond the city, following the Nile southward until he reached the shadow of a new monument rising from the desert, a pyramid in the making. There he saw men and women working together under the blazing sun. They were not slaves, as foreign tales often claimed, but skilled builders, craftsmen, and laborers who worked with pride. They sang songs of the gods, of Ra, who guided the sun, and Osiris, who promised life beyond death. Their laughter echoed across the dunes, and Amun felt something stir in his heart. He sat beside an old worker named Khepri, who rested with a jar of water and a handful of dates. The man's skin was darkened by the sun, his hands thick with calluses, but his eyes were bright with peace. "You write the words of kings," Khepri said, "but do you know the heart of those who build their dreams?" Amun shook his head. "I wish to learn." Khepri smiled and pointed toward the half-built pyramid. "These stones are not just for the dead. Each block carries a prayer. Each hand that lifts it leaves a memory. The pyramid is a stairway, not just for a king's soul, but for every man who dares to dream beyond the sand." Amun listened in silence, the words sinking deep into his heart. When night came, he watched the workers sit around their fires, crushing herbs and ash into a strange powder they used to clean their teeth. The first toothpaste, they called it, to keep their smiles white for the gods. The scent of mint and smoke drifted on the wind. When Amun returned to Alexandria, he wrote all he had seen, the workers' songs, the laughter, the wisdom of Khepri, onto a papyrus scroll. He placed it before Queen Cleopatra herself. Cleopatra read it slowly, her jeweled eyes thoughtful. "Then Egypt is not built by power alone," she said softly. "It is built by the hearts of those who believe in something greater than themselves." She ordered Amun's scroll to be stored in the great library, sealed in a clay jar marked with the sign of the Nile. Centuries later, when empires fell and the sands swallowed their cities, the river still whispered the same truth. The strength of a kingdom lies not in its rulers, but in its dreamers. And so, the words of a humble scribe lived on, carried by the Nile, eternal as the stars that once guided him.